The Super Nintendo had some fantastic games, some fantastic stunning looking games. Games like Star Fox, a 3D game running on a 16-bit console. For some, this just showed how powerful Nintendo's console was over Sega's 16-bit Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive. But in today's show, we're going to show how untrue that was, because today we're going to look at Star Fox and Star Fox type games running on a bog standard Sega Mega Drive. My name's Mike, and this is the Retro Gamer Boy Show. Welcome back to the Retro Game Boy Show. Today we're going to be showing how Sega's standard 16-bit console, the Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive, was capable of running games like Star Fox on it. Now before we jump into that, make sure you hit all the obligatory YouTube buttons around the screen here. And remember, we've also got chapters just on the time bar here as well, so you can skip to the most important parts of the video that you're interested in, saving you time. Right. Let's take a look at the power of Sega's 16-bit console. Star Fox is arguably the first accelerated 3D console game that came with the mighty Super FX chip inside every single card. What does this mean? Well, instead of having a console CPU do everything, you can get a more impressive result like 3D graphics by having additional chips handle specific processes. In this case, the Super FX chip was used to render 3D polygons and help out with some of the 2D rendering in the game. It was an impressive piece of technology, and along with Mode 7, that allowed for the background images to be rotated and scaled, giving the game the appearance of being in 3D, helped cement the Super Nintendo as being the best console for graphics. The few Nintendo friends I had at school would lord this over me, throwing out these technical buzzwords to prove how poor my choice of console was. The Sega Mega Drive. Now the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis weren't without their 3D games. We had games like Corporation, Hard Driving, and a number of different 3D flight simulators. Now I know that some of these games made their way over to the Super Nintendo, but we had them on Sega's 16-bit machine. But justice would come the following year when Sega fans would get their own onboard 3D accelerated chip, the Sega Virtual Processor, or SVP. The thing was a beast and walked all over the SFX chip, and we got quite possibly the most impressive 3D game on a 16-bit console, Virtual Racer. It was stunning, it was fast, it was Sega, bleeding edge arcade 3D visuals running on the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. This was it. This was where all my Nintendo friends would have to acknowledge the superiority of the Sega Mega Drive console. But alas, it was not to be. The SVP chips were super expensive to make, and despite Sega coming up with a bizarre idea for an SVP attachment cartridge, that was dropped in favor of their new 32-bit machine, the 32X. So what does any of this have to do with Star Fox being on the Sega Mega Drive? Well, everything. The Sega Mega Drive is a fantastic piece of kit with a huge amount of potential. Potential that some developers back in the day managed to really harness to produce some amazing looking games. Games like Red Zone, Mickey Mania, Sonic 3D, and Batman and Robin. These games are great examples of how some really skilled developers managed to use that potential the Sega Mega Drive had to produce some impressive 3D-esque looking games. One such game was due for release in the same year as Star Fox, but despite being almost complete, it was cancelled. It was called Rescue and was developed by Tempest Software, and Psygnosis were going to publish it. Now on the surface, Rescue is an impressive action platform shooter with some very cool game mechanics that allow the player to fly around the 2D screen and get out of your ship to dispatch bad guys. It was a solid, fun game. But what's really special about this game though is the bonus stage. Let's just play it and you'll see what I mean. Did you see that? A Star Fox-like experience running on a standard Sega Mega Drive. Even the ship looks similar. So we've got a Sega Mega Drive capable of recreating the Super Nintendo's premium 3D experience on a bog standard console. If only my 13-year-old self knew about this game. I could have shown those guys back then, I could have shown them that their Super FX chip meant nothing, because a standard Mega Drive was able to do that without any kind of hardware 3D acceleration. But the game never came out, and so I had no witty retort for their technical smackdown. However, fans and indie developers have not stopped trying to squeeze out every last bit of power from Sega's 16-bit console, and continue to support it still with dozens of new games coming out every year, which, if you watch the show, you'll know all about. One such tinkerer/developer is GA Sega 68K. The gentleman is responsible for getting the absolutely stunning Wolfenstein 3D running on the Sega Genesis. It's so good that you can actually buy non-officially sanctioned cartridges of the game that plays amazingly. Seriously, if you've not played Wolfenstein 3D on the Sega Mega Drive, you've not lived. His credentials assured with this masterpiece, he went on to show how Mode 7 can run on the Sega Mega Drive. I know other games have done something similar, but he went on and made an F-Zero tech demo, and then branded it Sega with a Sonic Team Races tech demo. Again, super cool, and shows just what's possible with a console that came out 2 years before Nintendo's 16-bit gaming powerhouse. Not content with that, he's been working on a Star Fox technical demo for a number of years now, and it's really impressive. This is a full 3D world that you can fly around, and again it uses no hardware acceleration. Not too dissimilar to Rescue, the demo proves that the Mega Drive is capable of more than what people gave it credit for. Now granted, we don't see any AI, collision, or many of the particles that you would do in a standard Star Fox game. But there are the fundamentals there, and Rescue is proof that the gameplay elements can work within these 3D worlds on the Sega Mega Drive. I'm constantly surprised by the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, a console that had online competitive gameplay, a VR headset, and a robust ability to produce 3D visuals. The console is an absolute pleasure to collect for, and I love learning about all these things that the Mega Drive on Genesis was capable of doing. And with such a robust and active indie development scene, who knows what we'll see in the future? Perhaps we'll see some of these amazing looking Super Nintendo titles making their way over to the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. That's it for this week's show. If you've enjoyed what you've seen and you're new to the channel, why not consider subscribing? You can do this by clicking on a little button just below the video. And we put out brand new content every single Monday. And so that you never miss a show, you can also click on a little bell, also just below this video. Now, if you can't wait until next Monday, don't worry, because we've got a huge back catalogue of retro gaming videos, 2 of which you can enjoy over here.